Larry Page and Sergey Brin are the 10th and 14th richest people in the world, respectively. As co-founders of Google, they represent the most visited website in world history and have a tremendous amount of capital to spend. In fact, they have a combined net worth of more than $120 billion. Today, we're answering the question, how do the Google founders spend their billions? First, let's look at their homes. In 2008, Sergey Brin purchased a 3,457 square foot home in Manhattan's swanky West Village for $8.5 million. The 4-bedroom penthouse apartment has a 23-foot balcony and a limestone bath with heated floors. Elizabeth Sample and Brenda Powers, brokers with Sotheby's in Manhattan, said that since the West Village is so hot right now, Brin's apartment would be worth about $11.5 million. Brin also owns a 30,000 square foot mansion in Alpine, New Jersey that costs a cool $48.88 million. The 12-bedroom, 19-bathroom spread boasts an indoor basketball court, fitness center, and a pool. The pad also comes with a 4,000-bottle wine cellar, movie theater, ballroom, formal dining room, dining terrace, and 3 bars. As for living quarters, the master suite has 2 spa bathrooms and dressing suites, and there's also a fully equipped staff apartment. And this is just the beginning. And then there's Larry Page's opulent home. His 8,149 square foot Palo Alto home has 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. Page purchased the home for about $7 million in 2005. A few years later, he built another home on the property, which is about 6,000 square feet and entirely eco-friendly, the Palo Alto Weekly reported. Page's new home has an elevator and green elements like a roof topped with solar panels and a rooftop garden and pervious paving in the parking lot. The Weekly reported that Page has been buying up adjacent properties for the past few years, all under various limited liability company names, according to Santa Clara County Public Records and neighbors. According to the Santa Clara County Assessor's Office, the home was valued at approximately $7.5 million for the 2011 tax year, but that's just for one home. The value of the complex of homes would be much higher. But what about when the Google founders are away from home? Of course, they like to kick back in their own personal yachts. The world's fastest super yacht, the DRAGONFLY, is owned by Sergey Brin. Built from aluminum, the DRAGONFLY is touted as the most stylish and efficient super yacht on the water. In 2011, it was up for sale for around $80 million and was reportedly purchased by Mr. Brin. The boat cruises at 25 knots and it can sleep up to 18 guests, taken care of by a crew of 16. Back in 2018, Larry Page purchased a second-hand yacht for $45 million. The internet guru bought the stylish 194-foot expedition super yacht Senses from New Zealand tycoon Sir Douglas Myers. The steel-hulled yacht was designed by Kush Yachts and built back in 1999 at Germany's Schweers Yard. It was remodeled in 2010, featuring interiors by design genius Philippe Starck, with accommodation for 10 guests and 14 crew over 6 decks. And then there's the investment in flying cars. Recent advances in battery density, propulsion systems, and sense and avoid technology are driving the current investment frenzy into flying cars. The overarching idea is that electric cars will be smaller, quieter, safer, easier to fly, and cheaper than traditional helicopters or private planes. Larry Page certainly seems to agree with this sentiment because he invested $100 million of his own money into a flying car startup. Kitty Hawk employees have conducted more than 1,000 test flights over Nevada's Lake Las Vegas, and the company is ready to start giving rides to business partners and other influencers who might drive sales. Along with wealthy people bored at their lake houses, you can expect early deliveries to go to fleet operators such as amusement parks. It could solve a huge transportation crisis, Page said. He imagines a world where people use these vehicles to zoom from Palo Alto to San Francisco in 11 minutes, a journey that currently takes 90 minutes or more during rush hour. This is in addition to the founders' personal air fleet. Between the executives, they have 8 private jets total. Their first acquisition was a Boeing 767-200 from Qantas in 2005 through their holding company Blue City Holdings, an entity that belongs to the founders directly and not Google. Originally built in 1987 as a commercial airliner for the Australian carrier, the plane was purchased by the founders for $15 million. The pair then spent another $10 million converting the aircraft into an actual private jet. Whilst an impressive sum, the transaction was a great deal for the holding, with the cost of construction of a new Boeing business jet starting at near $200 million. According to local publications, the converted Boeing had 2 staterooms, a shower, a dining area, 15 first-class seats, and a lounging area. With the capacity to carry a total of 50 passengers as per FAA regulations, the aircraft has since been spotted all around the world. Numerous acquisitions followed, and Google even built its own airport. The occasion arose when San Jose's airport was looking to release a 29-acre facility on its airstrip previously owned by Atlantic Aviation. Moving in on the deal, Blue City Holdings, the company operating the private fleet of Google's co-founders, brought in Signature Flight Support to operate the business jet terminal, into the construction of which it invested near $82 million, in addition to a lease agreement of $3 million per year over 50 years with the city of San Jose. Aiming to use it for its own executives, the private terminal is also made available to other business jets that land in San Jose's airport. The benefits for Google's founders are also clear. Whereas most Fortune 100 executives operate a corporate air department in some fashion, operating your own airport near your base of operation is a luxury that few billionaires around the world can ever get, regardless of the cost. If it isn't already clear, the Google founders have a passion for aviation. Their most recent addition to the fleet was a Dornier Alpha jet. It's a fighter jet built by Germany's Dornier and France's SUPERYACT, a highly advanced tactical trainer with close support capabilities, according to militaryfactory.com. A Google spokesperson told the New York Times the fighter is outfitted with scientific instruments for NASA missions. Because of the type of aircraft we are talking about, NASA now has the ability to do even more than they could before, said a Google rep. The sleek two-seater is capable of traveling 600 miles per hour. Of course, these billionaires have pretty sweet rides sitting in their garages as well. Back in 2015, Sergey Brin became the owner of the 4th Tesla Model X electric crossover, part of the first batch unveiled at Tesla's factory. These were all reportedly Founders Series models reserved for board members and close friends of the company. Officially, the first Model X examples are all Signature Series models with 90 kilowatt-hour battery packs and the new Autopilot autonomous system. The Model X has double-hinged falcon wing doors that open upwards, allowing the leading edge of the door to remain tucked close to the body, unlike traditional gull-wing doors. A new model retails for $110,000. Larry Page also prefers to drive an electric car, but he opted for a much less flashy model, the Toyota Prius. The base price is only $39,000, but Page seems to value function over flashiness. However, Page has another connection to Tesla after all. You know, if I were to get hit by a bus today, Google co-founder Larry Page once reportedly said, I should leave all of it to Elon Musk. That's admittedly an unorthodox way to handle one's estate. Most wealthy individuals leave their money either to heirs or to a charitable foundation. But as Page later explained, he thought the Tesla Motors SpaceX CEO could do more good with the money. In an interview with Charlie Rose, Page mentioned Musk's idea of backing up humanity by creating a parallel civilization on Mars as an example of an effective way to improve the world through business. That's a company, and that's philanthropical, he said. But it turns out Brin has a very different mentality regarding altruism. He donated $1 million to the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, the organization that played a critical role in helping his family escape anti-Semitism in the Soviet Union and migrate to the States 30 years ago. The New York Times ran an article and interview with Brin about the donation, revealing that Sergey's mother, scientist Eugenia Brin, is also a director of the organization. In the interview, Sergey Brin notes that he and his wife, Anne Wojcicki, would like to engage more substantially in philanthropic endeavors, acknowledging that the $1 million donation is relatively small if you consider the fact that his personal wealth is now an estimated $62 billion, according to the Times. So far, the Brin family has donated over $30 million to charity, particularly to organizations that are involved with Parkinson's disease. Compare this to Larry Page, who caused a huge controversy by donating more than $400 million without giving any of it to charity. In 2015, Page's foundation dug deep and directed $94 million in new Christmas-time giving. The next year, around the same time, it sent $129 million out the door. By 2017, the group was donating twice as much during the holidays as it was just 2 years before, giving $180 million from his fortune to philanthropy. But in the end, none of it went to charities. The fact is that in doing this, Page is making an excellent case for the regulation of donor-advised funds, including minimum payout and transparency requirements, because there could not be a clearer, more flagrant, or more cynical violation of the spirit of the requirement that foundations spend at least 5% of their assets on charitable contributions each year. Meanwhile, 99.5% of the money paid out went to donor-advised funds where he controls the grant-making. From that point on, because there is no transparency for even the largest of individual funds, there is no way of monitoring when and how much is dispersed. Though they have a nerdy appearance, both founders like a good celebration. Bryn married entrepreneur Nicole Shanahan back in 2017. Unlike other Silicon Valley couples, Bryn and Shanahan have made no secret of their relationship, choosing to go public with the news that they were dating by appearing on the red carpet of the 2016 Met Ball with Bryn's ex Anne Wojcicki and her then beau Alex Rodriguez. The carbon-conscious lovers even arrived together in the same car in a move that Vanity Fair later called head-spinningly civilized. The couple, who married in swimsuits at a Bahamas sandbar in 2017, have 2 children. Bryn also pays the salaries of 47 people who work for him personally, either in an administrative sense or around his house. And let's not forget that Google is no longer simply a search engine. With the parent company, Alphabet, Bryn and Page also own a large stable of over 160 subsidiary businesses that have played a role in turning the corporation into one of the largest on Earth in terms of market capitalization. You may already be familiar with most Google products, such as Android, Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, Chrome, and Google Maps. You may not be aware, however, of the various nascent companies that operate under Alphabet. These include YouTube, Waymo, and Wing.